In this video, I'm going to show you how to achieve accurate miters like this. Any DIYer can achieve a professional finish following this method. But you must watch to the end because there is a bit of a caveat here. So watch to the end and I'll show you how to get over this problem. Now I've made this miter box specifically for 127 Coving. As you can see, the Coving is supposed to project down the wall at 83mm. So I've made this miter box 83mm wide from the internal sides. You can use a standard miter box. All you have to do is put some packets on the inside of it to make sure that your Coving stands up at 83mm. Right, so now that we've got all our pins down the wall at approximately 85mm from the ceiling, ready to support our Coving, we'll go ahead and cut our first piece. We'll do this one with the two internal ends. Now what's tricky is when you come to measure wall to wall, it's hard to get an accurate measurement because of the curve you have in your tape measure. So to make things easier, pick a measurement that's easy to remember. For this example, I'm going to use 100mm. I shall mark that on the wall there at 100mm, and then we'll measure from the opposite end to our mark. As you can see there, it is 267mm. 267mm. I'll write that here. 267. We've got 100mm here. So we'll add those two measurements together, which will give us 367mm. Okay, so here we're going to go from an internal miter to an external miter. So the easiest way to do this is we'll cut this internal miter on a piece of Coving first, and then we'll measure from that miter to this external corner. (226mm). There. Now, one thing to note when doing this method, that's very reliant on the Coving manufacturer being precise with their own measurements. Now, this Coving in particular states that it should project down the wall 83 millimeters, across the ceiling 83 millimeters, and across the front it's 127 millimeters. But the truth is, it's not. Now, some of them are, most of them are accurate, but this particular one, made by Joe, I think it is it? It's well out. It's actually about 135 millimeters across here, which means the Coving has to project across the ceiling at 90 millimeters and down the wall at 90 millimeters. One way to test if your Coving is exactly 127 millimeters and needs to project 83 millimeters is to take a small offcut like this, draw a line so you've got yourself a perfect 90-degree right angle. We'll offer the Coving up like so, and what we want is to keep adjusting it until it sits down here the same distance as it projects across there. So at the moment this is 87 millimeters. 84 millimeters. 85 millimeters. 86. So we're more or less there. So what they're saying is actually we need to project this way and this way a minimum of 86 millimeters. 86 millimeters. That may not sound like a lot, but if you imagine this is actually sitting at 83 millimeters here, it then means your Coving is going to be kicked out this far. So when you try to do your miters, they're going to be way off. If you can get this step accurate first, it's going to make the whole process a whole lot easier. So 86 millimeters on this particular Coving. Now, if you're going to use drywall adhesive, you're probably going to want to allow 3 millimeters either side for the adhesive. So you could bump this up to 89 millimeters. Drill your hole in your scrap piece of wood at 89 millimeters, stick all your pins around the wall, 89 millimeters, and you should be good to go.